Hi guys, straying a bit from my usual content, but if you didn't know, I'm an artist. I do all of my own thumbnails, and I even do commissions as my main source of income at the moment while I'm looking for a job. I started doing commissions this year in August, and you may be scoffing a bit going, huh, Red, what makes you think you're qualified to make a video about this? Um, so I've made a little over $1,000 on comms since August, which I never expected to do. So I thought I would make a little video on basically just how I did that. First things first, an audience. I know it sucks, but you have to build an audience. Basically, between August and now, December, I've been building up an audience on my art blog on Tumblr, which is my preferred platform for posting art because not only is it relatively private, but it doesn't have an algorithm either, which means you don't have to work so hard to be pushed by said algorithm. The way Tumblr works is that you have tags that you put on your posts, and that's how people find your art. So only people interested in what you're posting will actually see it. This is good for posting fan art and less good for posting original content. However, if you're like me and you're a self insert artist, you can tag your posts with the fandom you're inserting yourself into, and it'll get traction that way. I also got really lucky with the Gravity Falls boom over the summer, and basically just rode that wave by making a lot, and I mean a lot, of self insert art for Gravity Falls. And that's how I got a lot of followers during that time. Going along with what's popular isn't a bad thing. Another thing that kind of ties into audience is targeted commissions, which basically means targeting your commissions at a specific audience. For example, I'm a self-insert artist, so I geared my comps towards people with self-inserts, and most, if not all, of my comps are of people self-inserts. Basically, building a target audience and then pushing your comps at them is the way to go in my experience. Next, a commission sheet. My first comm sheet was long and messy and it didn't get a lot of traction. People want fast and concise, something that tells you everything immediately. Here's one of my old comms info, kind of shortened but still pretty messy, versus my comms info now. The old one is boring, it's cluttered, and it doesn't catch the viewer's eye. My new one, however, is bright, it's colorful, and it shows everything it needs to on one page. For privacy reasons, I've blurred out my info, but you get the gist. Keeping it short and simple is your best bet. Also, don't be afraid to look at other people's comp sheets for inspo, because that's exactly what I did. I found a really cool comp sheet that I liked, and I won't say I copied it, but there's nothing wrong with taking inspiration from other artists' sheets. I've gone through a lot of different designs in the past, but I'm pretty happy with the one I've landed on. Keep in mind, I do change it up every so often, mostly every time I feel like I've made a significant change or like improvement in my art. Um, so I either switch out the art or I change the prices. I've both lowered and raised my prices in the past. With that, let's talk about prices. A good rule of thumb is to have your lowest price be minimum wage. For example, my minimum wage is $14, but I decided to go a little lower, and then go up by $5. So if your minimum wage is 7, go 7, 12, 17, etc. Or if you're like me, you can round up or down and go by fives, so 5, 10, 15, etc. It's really up to you. Don't be afraid to change your prices. Mine have fluctuated quite a bit, and my regular clients haven't minded at all. Although this won't be the case for everyone. If someone commissions you pretty regularly, then they know that art is a privilege and they'll understand that prices change. Let's talk about where most of my comms money actually comes from. Repeat clients. Most of my comms have been from the same two people, not a plethora of different clients. Always be kind and courteous to any and all clients you have, unless, of course, they aren't kind and courteous to you. You have a right to stand your ground and tell clients to fuck off, in my opinion, and I have done that before, even if it was just once. Some people like to take advantage of beginner artists slash commissions because they see you as an easy target. My advice, do not be an easy target. Be firm and confident. None of this, I know my art is trash, but please commission me nonsense. You have to be confident in this sort of gig. You don't have a choice. Fake it if you have to, but don't let yourself be bullied. That aside, for the most part, people that commission you will be extremely nice. Now, I only did this recently, but a TOS. Please get a TOS. I haven't been using one, but it's important. A TOS is a terms of service between you and your client, laying everything out on the table so there's no confusion on either side. Here's what mine looks like. I use Reentry for this, but you can have it be a post or a graphic or a card. It's really up to you. Now, payment. I understand that there's a lot of young artists trying to do comms, but my upfront advice is wait until you're 18 and get a PayPal. While PayPal does take a frankly gross amount from the payment for a fee, it's generally the safest and most secure way to accept a payment. That and Ko-Fi, or Coffee. Let's talk about Ko-Fi. So I use Ko-Fi for my commissions as well, just not as often. It's less personal, and I honestly just prefer chatting one on one with a client as opposed to them submitting an order and waiting. Although, if you're shy, Ko-Fi is a good option for not interacting as much with your clients. But I'd warn against this as a beginner because it makes you feel cold and less personable. The commissions page on Ko-Fi is honestly pretty cool, if time consuming to set up. This isn't my page, but I thought this layout was really cool, so here's an example. I also use Trello and Notion to track my comps progress. This isn't sponsored, but hey, if you're interested, here's my current Notion layout, as well as my Trello. It's honestly up to you which one you use if you want to track your progress, like at all. I only started using them recently because I actually have a workload now, as opposed to in the beginning where I was only getting a com maybe once or twice a month. I honestly suggest having everything in one place, which is why I prefer Notion, because there's a ton of free templates to choose from based on your needs. Also, Notion is completely free. Next on the chopping block, marketing. Yep, you gross marketing. It sucks. It sucks to do because we're artists, we're not marketers. Marketers? Marketers. However, my simple solution to this was to make these bad boys and slap them onto every post I make. Yep, every post. And what do you know? It actually works. You can make cute little banners like this in Canva, like I did, for totally free and customize them to your heart's content. Also, posting your comp sheet counts as marketing. There's not a whole lot I can say on this because, again, I chose a target audience and targeted them by posting self-insert art in tags where that audience could see it. These Tumblr pretty exclusively, so there's not a lot I can say on doing comms on other platforms. However, these cool people have comms tutorials that I've actually watched and recommended to my friends getting into comms, so please go check those out. Anyways, I guess that's basically it. I'll let y'all go on now with this last piece of advice. Take inspiration from artists around you, look at their comm sheets and their TOSs and everything else. I guess it's just like dress for the job you want. Anyway, that's all I really have to say on the matter, so I'll see you guys next time. Bye!